to getting a spot on the stage at this debate. You were successful in that regard. What do you think you accomplished tonight?
Well, we're hearing that it was good reports. I feel like in a back and forth like that, it's really hard for me to judge how well it went. I'd certainly like an opportunity to spend more time talking to Texans. I think that it probably became pretty clear that Kay and Rick have big government ideas. I have big people ideas. Let's let Texans take care of Texans. I am going to work really hard until March 2nd to share that message of freedom and prosperity, and hopefully energize Texas. I think in turn energize the country for a restoration of constitutional principles in our state and across our land, and I think that we'll see some phenomenal things happening.
Ms. Medina, has the fight just begun for you?
Oh gosh, George, it's been, we've started last February, and every week I think I'm busy, and then the next week I realize that we can ratchet it up another notch. I think we're going to keep doing that in the coming weeks.
Ms. Medina, you were the Republican Party chair in Wharton County. Another Republican Party chair in Wharton County said we couldn't get elected dog catcher there. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I had a meeting with the mayor on Thursday before I came up here, and he said, I think it's a pretty safe bet we'd elect you dog catcher, honey. Yeah, you know, that always happens whenever you have political adversaries, I guess, and it was unfortunate for our town. I think Wharton County has a lot to offer, a lot of fine people there. I was a little bit sorry to read kind of about the sour grapes that were being expressed in that article. Clearly the message that we're sharing here tonight is resonating with people all over Texas.
Ms. Medina, would you speak about the elimination of the property tax, and what would you do with all those appraisal board officers? What would they do after that?
Well, you know, that's the wonderful thing about a free market society. I think the milkman made the same argument whenever we began to pasteurize and refrigerate milk. What do we do with the milkman, and what do we do with the candle lighter? God made us ingenious humans. We will create and prosper and be entrepreneurs and invent if we will be given the opportunity. And so there's great opportunity in Texas. People in Texas are independent, they're thinkers, they're innovative. No telling what those guys will find to do.
Mr. Medina, recent studies have found high levels of toxic emissions in some gas developments here in the Barnett Shale. Do you think we need more regulation or monitoring of the area?
Well, I talked tonight a little bit about focusing on the EPA and recognizing that the federal government should have no authority there. We have the Texas, is it TCEQ, I believe, Texas. We have an agency here in Texas that regulates air and water. We need to look at efficiency and accountability in all of our agencies. That's not one that's risen real high on my radar screen, so I can't speak specifically to what's going on in that agency, but if it's indicative of what's happened in all the others, we have not had solid, effective leadership in Texas for some years. The kind of leadership that we have would get most CEOs run out on a rail in the private sector. I've been working in the private sector. I know what it is to motivate employees and hold people accountable. We ought to be expecting excellence from every area of state government. Texans have been shortchanged in that regard. I look forward to raising the bar there and making sure that all of the state agencies are doing a good job to serve the people of Texas.
Ms. Medina, what are your plans for the business franchise tax?
Eliminate it.
You talk about having to fight for a spot on the stage tonight, and a lot of my colleagues have written about you as a potential spoiler. How do you see yourself in this race and define success?
I think that I've cited the story often that it was a conversation with my daughter. We knew from the beginning the results weren't up to us. We saw an opportunity here to serve Texas. We saw a door opening. We were frustrated with the options that we had. We didn't like the kind of leadership that Texans were going to be given. I decided to step in, and what I've said all across the state of Texas is the outcome of this race really isn't up to me, it's up to Texans. you had an opportunity to see tonight the difference between someone who's going to champion the values and the ideas of a constitutional republic and two individuals who will repeat the same kind of big government answers. It'll be really up to Texas. We have, as someone indicated earlier, only begun to fight. We know that this race is not over until March 2nd. Perhaps in April if we end up in a runoff, but certainly we're going to continue. And that's not because I think I'm going to be third, you understand, it's because I expect that we're going to be first. So we may not have a runoff in Texas. Let's get out there and get after it. We're working hard on this race and we've got support all over the state. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Medina, do you feel that the Republican Party in general is drifting away from a smaller government view?
We had an opportunity to talk to the delegates at the Texas State Convention in June of 2008, and I'll repeat now what I said then. There is no drifting in the grassroots. The Republican conservative grassroots base is united on the idea that they want limited government. The divide comes between us and our elected political establishment. We essentially have created a royal class in America. The grassroots is tired of that. We want servant leaders. We want people who go into government for a time to serve the people and come home. And I think this race is a good indication of the kind of cohesion that exists all across Texas. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much. If you would like to interview Debra, please reach out to me, 210-416-0418 or nelda@medinafortexas.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.